Hi, it's Mike here once again with Computer Cuisine Deluxe. I sometimes get the question of whether Computer Cuisine Deluxe can create multiple cookbooks. And I kind of wanted to just do a video on this because it's much easier to explain on a video than it is to just kind of write it out in an email. There really is no need for multiple cookbooks with Computer Cuisine Deluxe because the key is you want to use the find function to essentially sift out throughout your entire collection different recipes that meet whatever criteria you have at that time. So that's why it's good to take advantage of certain areas of the recipe entry points, such as in the Notes tab, you can type recipe from. For example, all the recipes that come with Computer Cuisine say Mike McGee as the recipe from, but if you get a bunch of recipes that you enjoy from your friend Bob or Sarah or what have you, you can put their name here, and then whenever it's time to sort of sift out and create a separate cookbook, as you may in other recipe applications, you simply just do a find for every recipe from Bob or Sarah, and then boom, it will pop up. So really the key right here is to use the find function, and it's really powerful. It looks simple, but it's very powerful in how it's set up because you have just a multitude of different options that you can use to select different criteria. So for example, let's go back to the main menu, and I'm going to go ahead and click. Right now we have 1001 recipes selected. So I'm going to go ahead and click find, and we have, obviously you can search by name, ingredients, method. Everything in white is like your standard entry fields. Everything in the darker colors, the more subdued colors, these are the areas that are found in the other tabs, such as the recipe notes or in the nutritional information areas. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just do a search for everything that we tagged as a favorite. So we can just hit yes and then click enter. And you can see that we used to have 1,000 recipes listed. Now we only have 12 because there's only 12 in that entire 1,000 recipe collection that are tagged as a favorite. And you can see if it has a favorite, it has the little thumbs up icon right here. And you can see Alabama Slammer, apple cake, chocolate speed cake, which I must say is actually very good. These are listed as the favorites. So obviously you can do a one criteria search, but what people may or may not know is that you can compound the search by doing multiple searches on top of each other. So let's go back to the main menu and see when you go back, it says 1 of 12 because we currently have 12 recipes quote unquote found in the selection. They're currently found. If you ever want to go back and just find all of your recipes or have the complete recipe collection listed, you just click the find all button and you can see that that is now changed to 1001 recipes. So we're going to go back here, and if I do a search for the favorites, we're obviously going to have 12 hits and click enter. But again, you can just compound the multiple options that you have, and so we're going to do favorites yes, which would be the 12 that we're going to hit, but we're also going to do whatever is in the recipe name. So I know that there's a chocolate speed cake in there, so in the name I'm going to hit chocolate, C-H-O, hit chocolate, and then now we should only have one hit because there's only one recipe that hits both of those criteria. It has chocolate in the name and it also is one of the favorites. So we're going to hit enter, and then as soon as we do that, voila, we only have one hit. And that's basically what you can do in this rudimentary example. That's what you can do to select different options. So when you click on that, it says recipe 1 of 1 because there's only one that met that criteria of what we were searching for. So again, go back to find all. You've now restored your entire collection, and whenever you want to sift out recipes, you can just do a find for particular notes that you may have. Recipe from, as I mentioned, the name. This is where you could include Bob, Sarah, somebody's name here on top of whether they sent you a recipe that was pork or whether it was beef. They sent you some cake, classic cake recipe, and you're trying to weed out and what exactly was the title of that. I forgot. Well, you just do recipe from Bob, and then recipe type. You can just do whatever type of recipe that was, and you can do, oh, it was a dessert. And then you can again just do multiple layers of finding to make it easier to find information that you really are looking for. Then you just click enter and you're on your way. So that is basically it. You should really focus on trying to enter in as much information about a particular recipe when you're either copying, pasting from the web or what have you, because you can use that information later on to really narrow down your searches. And then that way you don't need to have multiple cookbooks that other applications might use, which makes it, frankly, to me, fairly confusing because I'd like to have one big recipe collection, and then think of it as cookbooks on a shelf. You have tons of cookbooks on a shelf, and every now and then you want to reach for that one particular recipe found in one of your cookbooks. You just grab that cookbook and you have everything. So if you ever want to weed out just that particular cookbook, you can just do recipe from, recipe publication, that sort of thing. Hit search, and you've isolated just those. You can always click the find all, and you're back in business. So that is the find function. So I would utilize that quite a bit because it's extremely powerful and it helps narrow down the collection. Okay, thanks.